Hello, my name's Alison Fox. I'm Director of External Engagement at Grantham College. Here at the Business Development Centre, we're actively involved in developing apprenticeship programmes, but we decided to look at the impact of these programmes here in Grantham. The impact on some of the people who matter most, the small to medium-sized enterprises or SMEs. We talked to a number of businesses who employed apprentices and asked them what their big question was, and then got them to try to answer it.
About 20 or 30 years ago I was an apprentice, and obviously it has put me in good stead for what I've wanted to do in my life. Apprentices for me, it's like that, it has paved the way for my business, as in, you know, I do get enjoyment from teaching people and seeing how they progress. You know, from somebody that don't know anything about the job, and then see them doing everything on a car that I can do, which, you know, is obviously I've learned over the last 30 years. You know, people think like being an apprentice, you know, you're just some little lad that, you know, just sweeps the floor, but no, here we do like to give them hands-on experience from day one. All the lads I've had have all wanted to learn, that's half the battle. If somebody wants to do something, obviously they're going to do well at it, you know, and obviously we like to bring that out of them, you know, and it is a two-way or a three-way thing really. It's myself, the apprentice and the college, and we all work together, and we have turned out some good candidates over the last 10-20 years.
For my grades at school being about average, I didn't really know where I wanted to go with it. But college, when I was still at school, were offering apprenticeships, well, places to do a course on either construction or motor vehicle. So I thought if I at least tried doing motor vehicle or something while I was still at school, I could see if it was something I'd like to do and go into it. Obviously after school finished and I got my grades, I thought I could have a go, so I tried to get an apprenticeship and managed to get an apprenticeship with Terry Ballum so I could continue on this course.
It is satisfying for me to sort of, like, in 3-4 years time, roughly where that, you know, what the length of an apprenticeship is that after 4 years they know everything about a car that we've trained them to do, you know, and it is very satisfying, and that is one of the reasons I like taking apprentices on, and the fact that I get satisfaction from them as well, you know, to know that I've passed my information on and that they've absorbed it and they are going to get a better life out of knowing it.
The retail apprenticeship scheme that the college are running is very useful, and the retail side is an apprenticeship. It is an occupation, the same as a fitter or a carpenter. And there's nothing like actually being on the shop floor. It allows us to use the resources that the college have, which we wouldn't always have on a day-to-day basis, time to give the apprentice. The apprenticeship scheme also gives us probably a little bit elongated time to assess the employee or the apprentice. Ashley and James is still with us. He's just finished his apprenticeship scheme, and Ashley has just started.
When I was at school I had a Saturday job, and I got to the point where I decided I didn't really want to go to uni because of cost and financial. So I thought I'd apply for a job, see if I can get a foot into the job market, and I ended up here.
Yeah, Ashley has now completed his MVQ level 2 in retail training at the college. He's learnt a lot. He needs to be on the shop floor, and the mix of day release has been very good. Yes, in our trade, the apprenticeship scheme that the college are running is a win-win situation. We can control the more in-depth product knowledge part of the training, and to a certain extent the customer relations, but the college can provide the more ministerial side of the training, as in health and safety. We'd be far more willing to take on an apprentice, even when times are hard, because it gives us the ability to judge the person over a period of time without it being a drain on the business.
Working at the college whilst undertaking an apprenticeship in business and administration is a fantastic opportunity for anyone leaving school or venturing into a new career. It enables them to gain a hands-on experience that is varied, rewarding, and which can be quite demanding at times.
I applied for an apprenticeship in business and administration because it enables me to learn on the job, build up my knowledge and skills, gain a qualification and earn money all at the same time. I've met a lot of different and inspirational people during my apprenticeship who have been supportive the whole way. I've also received fantastic support from both my line manager Deb and the team at the Business Development Centre.
Ultimately, it is my aim to encourage and support Rachel in achieving her NVQ and provide her with the opportunities that will enhance her learning and her experience in the world of work.
Prior to going to the Grantham College to look at the apprenticeship scheme, we'd taken on various individuals with the look at long-term employment. With little success, mainly because their work ethics just weren't there. They'd try various different things, or say that they could do various different things, convince me that they were capable of doing it. Then when it actually came to it, they weren't capable of doing what they promised they could do. So we talked, both Jane and I, about this situation. And it was agreed that the only way really I could get somebody with those skills was to actually train them up right from the very beginning to a finished product. One of the ways we were looking at doing that was through the work experience programmes that sometimes happen at schools and more into the sixth forms. As that sort of discussion was taking place, we were talking to another colleague who had an apprenticeship from the bricklaying scheme up at the college, and they suggested that we perhaps got in touch with the Grantham College and looked at the apprenticeship scheme. One of the biggest differences we found with taking the apprentice on through the Grantham College was that there was that outside control and check and balance sheet, whereas we would do the building of the work ethics and see how the individual worked, but the college would give some of the skills to that and also have the accountability and share that accountability.
Last year I did my A-levels and I did fairly well getting three C's, and I got all my options from uni, but I decided that diploma would be a better option because it gives you a good skill to have in the future.
So when we were looking at taking on an apprentice, that was one of the biggest benefits to us, that this would be an actual commitment from both sides. So when we were introduced to Jack, Jack came over and I interviewed him. We actually got on very well. I was quite surprised by some of his maturity with regards to the work. He seemed to know a little bit about the sort of building trade, but not too much. And that was also quite an important thing because it meant that I could give and help evolve Jack, if you like, as an apprentice and also as a plumber stroke general builder with regards to the property maintenance side of it.
I would say probably around 20 years we've been doing apprenticeships. We find it works better for us because they're actually in the workplace, working alongside the stylists, the clients, getting to know how to deal with different age groups, lifestyles, and to converse as well with those people. That is the main thing that you need to learn along the way, how to interact with your clients of all ages. Also, when we're talking about investing in an apprentice as well, there's quite a lot invested. You know, there's a lot of time that we invest in them. There's a lot of money that's invested in them. I know they're on slightly less of a wage because it's a training wage, but we then are able then to spend more in other areas. So they'll go on extra courses. So there'll be other things we can put them on. There's other things we can show them and do with them. Maybe send them down to Goldwell headquarters or whatever to send them on different courses while they're doing their NVQ level 2 or 3, which will be beneficial to them in the long run. So by the end of that contracted period, you know, because we've invested so much time, money and effort in them, we don't want them to fail. We want them to go straight on to working a column, getting busy, so that it's beneficial to the business overall.
Basically, I started earlier on in the year, and I was doing some work, and basically just watching around you, it just inspires you to see like all the stylists there working and showing what they can do, and I just think one day I want to be like them. So I was looking into going to college, and basically that's what it's gave me throughout how long I've been doing it. I've been training for 2 months now, and I really love it, it's amazing.
What we get out of having an apprentice in is we can devote all our time to training them how, to the best of their ability, but also we have then a product for ourselves, and we know exactly how they've been trained, what they're doing, and at the end of that contracted period, you know, hopefully they should be of a standard that we're happy with, i.e. a standard of a 5-star salon.
Welcome to Grantham Engineering. We're very much a traditional engineering company, employing approximately 100 people, and out of those 100 people we have apprentices year on year that we employ using the Grantham College. We have youngsters that we set on, would be September. From there we've got lads that's progressed, now working the latest technology that we have here within the Grantham site. We have supervisors that's also been at the Grantham College, also done a full apprenticeship, and we have people that's made senior managers within the company that again have done the Grantham College route, including myself. I was at the Grantham College back in late 70s, and I now am the works director within the company. The apprentices are the future of this business. We generate a lot of apprentices. In some years we have 11 apprentices on site within this company. Out of 100 people, that's a big proportion.
I've been here since August. I started college in September, day release, which is 1 day a week, Tuesdays.
We've recognised for a long time now that the future of this business needs to have apprentices. So each year now we bring in new apprentices to this company that we pursue right the way through their full apprenticeships and then retain them. They work the latest technology. We have to have good skills. Without the good skills, this company would not continue. We are competing against the rest of the world, and we can only do that with the good skills that we can generate through apprenticeship. It is very critical to the company that we continue to do apprenticeships and train our youngsters from leaving school.
One of the big questions that we had to ask ourselves was the work ethics, the reliability of people, promptness, you know, whether they would turn up on time or even at all. And we found with Jack that he is reliable.
Big question for me is, does the apprenticeship scheme work? Well, yes, for me it does. And probably the most important point was a point that was put forward by one of the apprentices, and that is that they are the future of the company. When I'm long gone, they will still be here.
The big question is, are apprenticeships, you know, worthwhile cause having, sort of thing? Well, in my organisation, without apprenticeships, I wouldn't have gained what I've gained in my life. I mean, having apprentices, my business has grown tenfold.
The big question for me is taking apprentices on a worthwhile cause? Yes, I think it is. It's a big investment for us as a company, but I think in the long run we get back what we put in.
My big question is, why aren't companies taking more apprentices on? The country has a lack of skills, certainly within the manufacturing sector. Apprentices are the future of the businesses, the future of the company. Companies need to take apprentices on. They will generate skills from an apprenticeship.
Well, there you have it, a very positive response for a variety of different reasons from a number of different business strands. Now, my big question for you is, Is there any reason for you not to be involved in apprenticeships?